The year is 480 BC. The most powerful empire the world has ever seen is on the move. The Persian Empire stretches from Egypt to India, from the burning deserts of Africa to the frozen mountains of Central Asia. No army has ever stopped them. No city has ever resisted them. And now they are coming for Greece. King Xerxes, son of Darius the Great, has assembled the largest army in human history. 1 million soldiers, 10,000 of his finest warriors, the Immortals. A fleet of over 1,000 warships. He has spent 4 years preparing for this moment. This is not just a military campaign. This is a statement to the entire world. Persia cannot be stopped. But there is one man who disagrees. His name is Leonidas, king of Sparta, and he has 300 warriors ready to prove the world wrong. To understand why this battle matters, you need to understand Sparta. Sparta was not like any other city in Greece. From the moment a Spartan boy was born, his life belonged to the state. At age 7, boys were taken from their families and entered the agoge, the most brutal military training program the ancient world had ever seen. They slept on reeds they cut themselves. They were deliberately underfed to teach them to endure hunger. They fought each other constantly. They trained in all weather, burning heat, freezing cold, pouring rain. By the time a Spartan man reached 30 years old, he had spent over 2 decades preparing for one thing: war. This is why 300 Spartans could stand against 1 million. When news of the Persian invasion reached Greece, most Greek cities panicked. Some surrendered immediately, others debated endlessly. But the Greek city-states knew they had one advantage: geography. Greece is a land of narrow passes, rocky coastlines, and mountain barriers. And there was one pass in particular that could change everything: Thermopylae. Thermopylae, the Hot Gates, a narrow coastal pass between the mountains and the sea. At its narrowest point, only a few meters wide enough for perhaps 10 men standing side by side. This is where Leonidas chose to make his stand. The Greek strategy was simple but brilliant. In open ground, 1 million Persian soldiers would surround and crush any Greek force. But in a narrow pass, numbers meant nothing. Only the men at the front could fight. And no man alive was better at fighting in a tight space than a Spartan warrior. Leonidas arrived at Thermopylae with 300 of his finest soldiers. Each man was carefully chosen. Each man already had a son to carry on his bloodline. Leonidas knew what he was asking of them. He knew they would not come home. The Persian army arrived, and Xerxes could not believe what he saw. A handful of Greek warriors standing in his way. He sent a messenger demanding they lay down their weapons. Leonidas sent back 2 words that would echo through history: "Come and take them." Xerxes waited 4 days. He could not believe these Greeks were serious. On the 5th day, he sent his soldiers forward. The first wave of Persian infantry crashed against the Spartan shield wall and shattered. The Spartans fought as a single organism, their shields locked together, forming an impenetrable wall of bronze, their spears thrusting forward in perfect rhythm. The Persians had no room to use their numbers. They could only send men into the pass in small groups, and those men died. Wave after wave came. Wave after wave broke against the Spartan formation. Xerxes watched in disbelief from his golden throne on the hillside above. He reportedly rose from his seat 3 times in fear during the battle. His elite immortals, the 10,000 warriors who had never been defeated, were sent forward. They were pushed back just like the rest. For 2 full days, 300 Spartans held the pass against the greatest army ever assembled. Then came the betrayal. A Greek man named Ephialtes approached the Persian camp. He had information to sell, a secret mountain path that bypassed Thermopylae entirely, a path that would allow Persian soldiers to surround the Greeks completely, for money and the promise of reward. He handed Leonidas and every Greek defender their death sentence. Xerxes moved immediately. He sent his immortals through the mountain path under cover of darkness. When dawn came on the 3rd day, a Greek scout brought Leonidas the news. They were surrounded. There was no escape. The battle was already lost. Leonidas made a decision that would make him immortal. He sent the allied Greek forces home, 7,000 men who could still survive. He ordered them to leave. But the 300 Spartans stayed, and with them stayed 700 Thespians and 400 Thebans who chose to fight to the end. The final battle of Thermopylae was unlike anything before it. Knowing they would die, the Spartans abandoned their defensive formation and charged forward into the Persian mass. They fought with savage fury. When their spears broke, they drew their swords. When their swords broke, they fought with their hands, their teeth, their bodies. Leonidas himself was killed in the fighting. The Spartans formed a circle around his body and defended it to the last man. Persian arrows darkened the sky. The ground was covered with the fallen, and one by one the last Spartans fell. When it was over, Xerxes was so enraged by the resistance that he had Leonidas beheaded and his body crucified, an act that revealed something important. Even in death, Leonidas had gotten under the skin of the most powerful man in the world. The Persians marched on. They burned Athens. They seemed unstoppable. But Thermopylae had changed everything. The sacrifice of the 300 had bought Greece precious weeks. Weeks to prepare, weeks to unite. The Athenian navy used that time to prepare for battle at Salamis, where they would crush the Persian fleet and cut off Xerxes' supply lines. The following year at Plataea, the Persian army was destroyed for good. The invasion was over. Greece survived. Western civilization survived. And it was built on the sacrifice of 300 men who chose to stand when everyone else had run. They fought so that others could. And in doing so, they became the most famous soldiers in the history of the world.